And a lot of people have been asking, why haven't some former Lakers come out and been more adamant about this guy getting off the damn team? Well, one person has, and that person continues to be one of the more vocal voices on the Lakers not giving LeBron a max contract, or even bringing him back. And that person is Byron Scott.
Byron Scott isn't changing his stance. He's been repeating the same message for weeks, and now he's doubled down once again. In his view, the Lakers should not re-sign LeBron James next season to anything close to a maximum contract. His argument isn't that LeBron can no longer play at a high level. Instead, he believes committing that much money to a 42-year-old player makes it nearly impossible to build a championship-caliber roster. According to Scott, the financial reality simply doesn't work in the Lakers' favor. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Should the Lakers give LeBron whatever contract it takes to keep him in Los Angeles? Or do you agree with Byron Scott that offering max-level money to a 42-year-old is the wrong decision for a franchise that's serious about competing for another title? Before we dive into that debate, it's important to look at where the Lakers currently stand. The bigger picture matters if we're going to judge the LeBron situation fairly. This offseason has already delivered a major shakeup across the NBA landscape. Giannis Antetokounmpo has reportedly moved from the Milwaukee Bucks to the Miami Heat. His time in Milwaukee appeared to have reached its natural conclusion. The partnership had run its course, and now he begins a new chapter. In Miami under Pat Riley, surrounded by a solid supporting cast, it's an exciting fresh start for Giannis. But while that blockbuster storyline has seemingly found its ending, another major question continues to hang over the league. The ongoing uncertainty between the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James remains unresolved, and Byron Scott has made it very clear where he stands on the issue. He's been vocal about it from the beginning, and he isn't backing away from his opinion now.
Let's shift over to Los Angeles, our beloved purple and gold. What are the biggest priorities for the team this summer?
I think first, you have to find out what LeBron wants to do. I think that's going to be a big plus. And this, I really believe this. If LeBron stays, I don't think that hurts the Lakers. But they only get better because LeBron is better than 80% of these guys in the league, man. You know, 80% of all these guys that are playing now. You get a healthy Luka back. I think Reeves is going to be, that's going to be the one. Does he want a lot of money or a little bit of money to stay with the core? But the Lakers got, you know, I don't think their situation is as dire as everybody think it is. I think you have to make some adjustments, but...
Among former Lakers, Byron Scott has been by far the loudest voice on this issue. He didn't make the comment once and then leave it alone. Instead, he continues to repeat the same message every chance he gets. His opinion hasn't changed one bit. In Scott's view, the Lakers should not offer LeBron anything close to a maximum contract if they decide to bring him back next season. This isn't coming from some anonymous critic or someone looking to stir up controversy. It's coming from a former Lakers player and former head coach who knows the organization inside and out. He understands the expectations that come with wearing the purple and gold. He knows what it takes to build a championship team, and he's willing to voice an opinion that many others avoid saying publicly. Plenty of people choose to stay quiet because they don't want the backlash that often comes with criticizing LeBron. Scott, however, has made it clear that he isn't concerned about that.
You know, the only thing I didn't like about LeBron or his manager, whoever's speaking for him, is saying that we'll go somewhere else and take less money. If you're willing to take less money with the Lakers.
I done said what I done said a million times about this, you know, and again, like OP said, for me, $58 million, if you re-sign LeBron for anywhere close to that,
it'll hurt the team.
I think you do exactly what you did this year. You'll get to the playoffs, you'll probably lose in the first round, or you get lucky, you lose in the second round.
This is where Byron Scott's argument becomes much more balanced, and it's an important distinction because it makes his position harder to brush aside. He's not claiming that LeBron is washed, nor is he suggesting that LeBron can no longer contribute at a high level. In fact, Scott made a point of giving LeBron plenty of credit. He said LeBron is still better than roughly 80% of the players currently in the NBA. Looking at his production, that's a reasonable argument to make. LeBron's statistical output last season was remarkably similar to what he produced during his prime years in Miami. The numbers speak for themselves. When a player continues delivering that level of production, there's no question he remains a valuable asset to any roster. No one involved in this discussion is arguing that LeBron has lost the ability to perform at an elite level. So if there's broad agreement that LeBron can still play at a high level, then where does the disagreement come from? According to Byron Scott, it all comes down to one thing: the size of the contract.
LeBron can come back to the Lakers if he wants, but he should not be brought back for anything close to a max contract. We've even done some lives where David McMenamin said that the Lakers are going to offer LeBron money, but it won't be anything in the ballpark of a max contract. And some of LeBron fans, or a good amount of them, are pretty upset that they're not getting their way from the front because they don't care about the Lakers winning. They view the Lakers in a reverse reality. They think LeBron is the main guy, so therefore the Lakers should do everything to benefit him. They should probably trade Luka Doncic, give LeBron a max contract, trade away Reeves, and then build around LeBron. Like, that's what they want. But unfortunately, we live in reality, and that's not going to be the case.
According to Byron Scott, the issue has never been LeBron's talent. The real concern has always been the contract. And that's the point he believes many LeBron supporters either overlook or refuse to acknowledge. There's a huge difference between recognizing LeBron as a highly productive player and believing he's worth a maximum contract at 42 years old. Those are two separate debates, and treating them as the same only muddies the discussion. A player can still perform at an elite level and remain extremely valuable to a team, while at the same time carrying a price tag that makes it difficult to build a championship-caliber roster. That's the distinction Scott continues to emphasize. In his view, the concern isn't about LeBron's ability on the court. It's about whether committing that much salary to one player limits the franchise's flexibility. Scott believes that difference is often lost in the conversation, with critics arguing that the two issues are being blended together when they should be evaluated separately.
I mean, Coop said probably the most important thing here is it's LeBron's decision. Him holding off all the way to the last minute, is that going to hurt the Lakers?
No, because I think there's things you can do around all of that.
Coop, that's $53 million, $55, $58 million.
They have to make a decision. They can't wait till August.
Now let's get into the financial side of the debate, because this is where the discussion shifts from personal opinion to simple roster economics. A near maximum contract for LeBron would reportedly fall somewhere between $53 million and $58 million per season. That's an enormous commitment for a player entering his age 42 season. Byron Scott's point was straightforward. If the Lakers decide to invest that kind of money in LeBron, they're limiting their own ability to improve the roster elsewhere. According to Scott, the outcome is likely to look a lot like last season. The team reaches the playoffs, but probably exits in the first round. At best, maybe they survive one series before falling in the second round. Then, 1 year later, everyone finds themselves having the exact same debate all over again. Scott believes the biggest issue is that the Lakers simply aren't built to compete with the NBA's rising powers. Teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs have younger rosters, greater athleticism, stronger depth, and a clearer long-term foundation. The Lakers, meanwhile, still have significant holes to address. If more than $50 million of the salary cap is tied up in one veteran player, there's far less flexibility to solve those problems. That means fewer opportunities to add younger talent. It limits the team's ability to improve its athleticism. It also makes it much harder to strengthen a bench that was exposed throughout the season. Instead of raising the team's ceiling, Scott argues that such a move would lock the Lakers into the same level they've already reached, leaving little room for meaningful improvement. The lack of depth is the point Scott kept returning to. In his view, that's what ultimately held the Lakers back. He wasn't blaming LeBron for the team's postseason exit. Rather, he believed the supporting cast simply wasn't complete enough. The bench lacked consistent production, and the roster was missing key complementary pieces. Because of that, Scott argues that giving an even larger percentage of the payroll to the team's highest-paid player doesn't solve the underlying issue. Using that financial flexibility to improve the roster would do far more to address the weaknesses that led to the team's elimination. Even if LeBron agreed to accept around $40 million instead of a deal closer to $58 million, Scott believes the savings only go so far. Roughly $18 million in extra cap flexibility certainly helps, but it doesn't magically fix every weakness on the roster. The Lakers still need younger contributors, more athletic players, and dependable production from their second unit. That amount of money can help address part of the problem, but it isn't enough to completely reshape the team. And Scott's larger point remains the same. The reason those difficult compromises exist is because such a significant portion of the salary cap would already be committed to a 42-year-old star. That leads into the part of the discussion that seemed to frustrate Byron Scott the most. It wasn't just about the numbers. It was about the message coming from LeBron's side. Specifically, Scott took issue with the idea that LeBron might be willing to join another team for less money while expecting the Lakers to pay closer to the maximum. When that possibility was raised, Scott had a response that immediately caught people's attention. Byron Scott also pushed back against the idea that LeBron would supposedly accept less money to play somewhere else. His response was simple. If LeBron is truly willing to take a pay cut, then why not do it with the Lakers? Scott believes saying you'll accept less elsewhere while expecting the Lakers to pay near-max money comes across more as a negotiating tactic than a genuine sacrifice. That brings up the biggest question in this entire situation. Who really has the leverage? Scott believes it's the Lakers, not LeBron. The organization doesn't have to shape its entire offseason around one player's timeline anymore. Instead, it can set its own price, make its own deadline, and let LeBron decide whether he wants to stay under those terms. Timing is another major concern. Reports suggest LeBron may not make his decision until late in the summer, but the Lakers can't afford to wait that long. Free agency moves quickly, and the best players are usually off the market early. If Los Angeles waits too long, it risks missing out on the upgrades the roster desperately needs. Scott also pointed to the Lakers' long-term direction. With a more analytics-focused front office, every decision is expected to revolve around salary cap flexibility and roster construction rather than emotion or a legacy. From that perspective, tying more than $50 million to a 42-year-old player becomes difficult to justify when the team still has several major weaknesses to address. The bigger priority, according to Scott, should be building around Luka Doncic. At 26 years old, Luka represents the franchise's future, and surrounding him with the right supporting cast should be the Lakers' main objective. Using a massive portion of the salary cap on LeBron would make it much harder to add the quality center, athletic wings, and bench depth needed to maximize Luka's prime. Scott argues the choice is straightforward. If the Lakers are serious about competing for championships over the next several years, they have to prioritize the younger superstar over an aging one. Around the league, contenders are getting younger, deeper, and more athletic, and Los Angeles can't afford to move in the opposite direction by committing most of its cap space to a veteran entering his age 42 season. His conclusion hasn't changed. LeBron is still an excellent player and could absolutely help the Lakers if he's willing to sign at a reasonable number. The debate has never been about his talent. It's about the cost. According to Scott, a fair contract gives the Lakers flexibility to build around Luka, while a near-max deal limits the franchise's ability to contend for another championship. That's why he continues to repeat the same message. Pay LeBron fairly, not at the maximum. Or let him explore other opportunities if that's what he prefers. What do you think? Should the Lakers prioritize keeping LeBron, or should they focus on building around Luka Doncic for the future? Share your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more Lakers coverage.